time, while the players on stage might be full of those excited nerves, snakes in their belly, for us at home, for us being able to witness this is a clash between two teams who are fast-paced, explosive, always put on a show.
Yeah, enough to make even Icebox exciting. That's what I love about these teams. They will give it their all.
D1 Icebox hater.
I really am. And there's contact caught by Smoggy. He's just going to get that information. Now PRX is going to be making sure to take that space rapidly at that.
Look
it's
how
an interesting
deep this
wall.
is.
Yeah, I mean, the Viper wall, the Sage wall, trying to fight for that backside control. And underhanded flash from Simon just does not get that value. Simon, this guy is just unreal. Something on an absolute worldy so far. It's a three-piece. It could be on for the ace here, but it's going to be settled down to that 2 versus 2. Drone to tag up onto these players. I'm going to try and force the issue. Nobody under immense amounts of pressure. 9 HP here. Defuse for Smoggy, pushed off and away from it. Still lands a shot, but he's down to 4 HP. Whittled down to barely anything enough for Forsaken to clean it all up.
And I hope we're starting as we mean to go on with that kind of pistol round. PRX took so much control over the site. Instantly, as soon as you see where the Viper wall goes down, you know you've got a brawl on your hands. And the flash didn't quite connect onto something. I believe he got saved here, but oh no, not quite. I thought the heal had come through early, but he still had that debuff because he'd recently taken damage. Knocked down that 30 damage from the pistol, taking him to 10. A stellar pistol round though, from something. He picks up 4.
Form, I feel like, is, I mean, I don't know. I was paying attention to that as a factor coming into this match here, because in terms of map pool, kind of threw it out the window. Both of these teams, their permaban is Ascent. They ended up floating it. In theory, that means that we're going to end up on more middle ground maps here, on Icebox, Sunset, Lotus. So I want to see if they can carry forward these improvements that they've made off the back of their last series played and keep it going all the way. Something has not slowed down, but will be stopped in his tracks by Kankang.
Kankang responds there, but they're still going to be able to retrieve that rifle. Goes over onto Forsaken.
Very obvious in terms of the flash there, just drops it round. Pistols are doing work though from EDG.
Nobody helping Jing.
Yeah, and rapidly approaching his position here. Just the Guardians in hand. Not exactly the most ideal weapon as well against this anti-eco, but finally the crossfire setup comes through, collapses onto them. With 3 surviving into the next as well, you can keep a lot of these guns going in for the bonus.
Yeah, not bad. And Forsaken only brought a pistol into this one too, so they're still going to have 4 big weapons heading into their bonus round. I think, just to speak on the map pool for a moment, while we've got this small break in the action, PRX's map pool's really small. People are referring to it as the PRX map puddle, not the map pool. But the fact that they've been allowed to get Sunset in here, because like you said, EDG, they don't really want to ban the perma because it's shared between both teams, but they also didn't target ban. So actually we're going to get a map pool that PRX is fairly comfortable on, which is a bit unusual. I don't think you'll see that too much if they survive going forward into playoffs.
They went for the ban on bind instead, which, after watching PRX, I don't fault them on that.
Nobody
made
pushed
improvements.
Up incredibly deep there. Kind of on his own. Wasn't synced up with Kankang just for a moment at the beginning. Takes the duel. It's a risky one against something and wins it. I will be enjoying it if we get risk taker nobody coming out today, because his aim can be unbelievable when he gets that confidence, and he limit tests.
Yeah, he does. Just tries to bail himself out of some of these risky positions and spots. Chichu is quite lucky to be walking away there.
And there's no mid-smoke down from Mind Freak. PRX decided not to invest that one at the beginning, and he's actually taking contact here.
Yeah, okay, he's going to be covered over the top. That's Jing, making sure he's there with the rifles in hand. Kankang, the punish. But already traded out. Simon, though, he's a lone survivor towards the back of the site, operating alone. This guy's getting chewed up and spat back out again. Chichu, making sure to contain, plug up the hole up through mid, knows that the remaining 2 players are down onto this site, but what a hell of a task, again, to overcome. And into the post plan here for PRX. Doubled up. They'll be able to secure that one easily, as it's said. I mean, that's a bonus round for them as well that they're just bringing onto the board.
And one where they had to audible pretty heavily. The fact that Mind Freak's holding onto his Viper's Orb at the beginning of the round, that indicates to me that they were going for an A hit, a full A hit, and then as soon as something died, right off the rip, they thought, oh, well, now we've got to pivot, actually. We can't just go into A. But this defense on A crumbled as soon as nobody got caught. That kind of synced up play from Jing at the same time as Mind Freak, taking out nobody, and then Kankan caught on the back pedal. EDG are going to have cleaner defensive setups if they want to stop PRX. This team is going to push you to your limits. And unless you're tight, super disciplined and ready for them, anticipating what they're going to throw at you, it's so difficult.
Take flight.
It's going to be even harder. We're seeing a lot of bonus round conversions so far at this event. I mean, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but...
a lot.
They're a lot, yeah. I mean, they're
lot.
definitely a lot compared to the usual and the norm, so... Massive advantage.
I think Sentinels have contributed to a ton of those.
They really have. In that Gen G match. Jing's gonna get this plant down. Oh, no, it's okay. It's actually ult committed. You know, EDG are on that half buy, and they're gonna be rewarded in kind. That's 2 pickoffs. Chichu trying to contest and tango, but he's gonna be calling for the reinforcements, and a double swing with the discipline is nice.
That's so well played from EDG. And now the spike's abandoned. 2v5. Something in Mind Freak left to try to bail this out, and they've walled themselves off for going for any kind of control.
Yeah, just barely missed the body up towards the top. Smoggy, what a shot to hit. And something, yeah, sent to the grave.
What a way to open up and get your first round here. When PRX's form was looking better, I'll tell you what I love in particular though. Chishu, smartest player in my opinion on EDG. At times has looked like the best as well. But he contributes massively there to that MasterCard Thrifty by jiggle peeking onto Forsaken. And Forsaken knows he's going to get swung, so he can't just start running, otherwise he's an easy pick. So when Chishu jiggles like that, he's just delaying Forsaken and buying time to set up the double swing. He's just doing this jiggle to wait for his teammate to come with him. And there's nothing that Forsaken can do. He's worried about getting timing.
So EDG are right back into it. All that talk about the bonus round conversions, how much it matters and means.
The mold begins early.
It really does. I need to see a lot of coach cams.
Placing swarm grenade.
I'm begging you.
Swarm grenade out.
So the money's going to be relatively equal on either side, so we're going to get a gun round. A lot of ults for PRX to potentially work with. Mainly Forsakens is what I'm looking at. Chichu's a while away from the lockdown, so might not have any intention of saving it. Smoggy once more sees the cloud burst here. He knows that he's under threat into this position, and the off angle will be punished.
Plus the 1v1. Something on top, on a high ground, favored in the fight against Kangkang, who is trying to capitalize on Smoggy's swing, and it just ends up being a raw jet duel that Something wins.
That just goes into that extension of the post plant. Overhead with the flash as well, but never been more obvious. Over the top there from nobody to return that fire. Chichu beautiful again with that rifle in hand, but so much more to do at this point in the game, in the round. 1v3. He's looking to isolate some of these fights as well. He's not going to be giving it though. This is PRX looking very well drilled. I was wondering if they were going to be able to carry that form forward. From the last series they played, that bind map, I was dead impressed with them. They were all in sync, working as a unit, and there's nothing scarier than PRX when they've got that hive mind going for them.
That's so true. I've actually been fairly impressed with both teams and how they're setting up their coordination.
Yeah.
And that wasn't just a solo peek from Smoggy. Smoggy and Kangkang trying to swing together. It's not necessarily so that they can double face, but more so that they're trying to work off the distraction. Like everyone focuses on Smoggy and then Kangkang gets in, gets one, gets out. It didn't work there, obviously, because PRX were also super ready for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this too, not just the discipline.
Anti-stratting and the discipline coming together with the firepower.
It was so winnable.
It was.
I mean,
it was so winnable.
Unbelievably winnable there on Haven, and it just slipped out of their grasp. Kangkang is going to try to take this game back into his fist with this operator that he's got posted on top of yellow. Looking to do exactly what the desk was talking about. Dodge that drone. This time, though, takes a tag.
They won't be able to. That is a ballsy Hunter's Fury. I mean,
right.
you're doing that one against a Jet. Good luck, son. Forsaken.
He doesn't play too much sober.
No. And he is a great player. I won't fault him at that, but that is a hell of a task. And obviously no damage done to Kangkang. He's able to escape.
At the same time, though, all of that pressure over towards B has perfectly obfuscated where PRX are actually intending to go. a completely free A site here. Even enough time for Jing to leisurely break the nano swarms and get set up.
Another Seoul in sight. For any sort of flood defense play by EDG, they've got to wait for the rest of their team to get in. They're using a drone early on here. Very forward position set up by Divide. Dodged the drone, just tucked, but now they want to try and double up and take the fight towards the back.
Can't give Chishu a kill.
Flashes up and over already. The swings are coming out on top of Rafters. It's too much to overcome. And finally, EDG taking these fights together with Smoggy, essentially leading the charge. He's dropped down to single digits, but already the damage might have been done. Mindfreak cut to the corner, close and personal. Still alive here, brings it to that 1 versus 1. Kang aim trained onto the angle base. The shot! Run down! Time needs to get onto it. The circle already shrink. Yes, it did. PRX.
Oh, and he loses the operator as well. Absolute heartbreak for EDG, who looked like they had another round that they were going to put on the board. What a recovery from those PRX players, tucked there towards the generator. The retake was working. Yes, Chishu had fallen, they didn't have access to the lockdown, but the trade-outs were working. And that's one where technically Mindfreak gets credit for the Red Bull clutch, but all he had to do was stay alive.
Yeah, he did. But he bought the time, right? Got the kills. But just enough. Just enough for the win. EDG are really struggling here. Kang.
Spike down B.
Let's grab himself the one before the trade comes through, seeking to punish that drone.
I got the spike.
Orbs being picked up. The war machine is starting to chug here, if you are PRX. And the wall as well. Dropping a vibe wall to take these fights at opportune timings. Chichu
Spike planted.
will try and even it out with a bit of damage, stray shots, but not too lucky in that regard. Simon, though, let's connect one. Straight to the dome on Forsaken. He's got a lineup for this.
It's a big kill, but no weapons really retrievable just yet.
It has pulled out the ults, though, that we were just talking about being earned. So PRX feeling that pressure, like they have to combat some of this as well. And now that is the danger zone. Lockdown.
Is he even going to get out?
Oh, my goodness. Barely there. But time will start to tick at this point onto the spike and Divide.
Surely no hope.
You got to think he wins this one. Swings it out. Chichu, nice goal, but yeah. Very little chances there for Chichu to play with just because of that lockdown that was in play. 6-1 now, the scoreline. PRX really running away with his side of the icebox.
Simon does a good job there of even forcing out the lockdown, because otherwise that would have been an enormous tool to now contest with in the rifles. But of course this is EDG's map pick and they're down 6-1. This is not a good way to begin. But EDG's defense side is not their best side. When I was watching them play this previously in China, they heavily relied on that Kang operator to get this side working. Their defensive setups were not the best. And Kang's only had it in his hand for 1 or 2 rounds max.
Yeah, barely being able to pull together enough funds to get it.
Just been crushing. The weight of the corporatocracy bearing down upon EDG.
That's a big word.
They've been milked. The serfs tilling the fields. They can barely get enough money for their weapons.
I know that one.
Here.
Don't need a dictionary for that. Turret's going to get taken down in mid. It's Mindfreak. EDG now might have to pull a few more bodies here. Smoggy. Nice. It's a high-low setup. The rest of the team as well. As soon as they catch that player, it's going to force out the res. Wall is up and a bound and a bit of spam and sprayed away.
Good punish.
Yeah, snake bite. Able to collect that kill here.
Kang posted up over towards B. This pit to deny any kind of re-hit from PRX. And Kang's going to keep pushing up, despite the fact they haven't heard anything. It's a risky spot, but as PRX go for the mid to B instead, he's going to have a great position for any potential backstab or retake. This looks tough to navigate with 30 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, your options are hyper limited. I mean, you can try and pivot back into A, but they've still got the 3 players there, still got the pit. Through the gut though, straight through now, in through mid. Simon with the knife, up against the wall. Catches, cancels onto the drone. There's only 14 seconds left, and they don't have any semblance of map control. The lockdown again, forcing them out into the open. The easiest fights here, shooting fish in a barrel, and Simon, this newcomer to the squad, lighting them up.
Great closeout in this round for EDG. First round where it really feels like they're in control the entire time. That's one they desperately needed. Still not going to look to invest the operator by the look of things. 5 rifles on the board. And Kankan didn't even really get pressured in this round. All came down to these fights over towards A. High-low setup.
Seconds left.
Working
Spike
wonders.
down B. Here.
It makes sense as well that EDG picked Icebox. I know they're down 6-2 and they're fighting to stay level in this and a long way off. But PRX did lose badly on this map the last 3 times they've played it. It did look a little weak for them. They don't look weak today.
No. Be clearly an area of improvement. That Orb tapped up forces something into the fight. Gonna dash to try and leap into the fray, maybe pounce onto a target or 2 here, but he's gonna get out. No damage done as well.
He's been given all the room in the world.
Yeah.
And the snakebite's been used before the shocks, before the plant. No
Making
break
A
on the
side.
wall.
Yeah, looking like a playground right now. Viper's Pit. Drop down into the players here. EDG trying to go a bit more fast and loose here. Spam. It's going to be critical. Dash up and over. Onto the pipes. He's found it. Perfect accuracy. At least expecting it. Something though. He's right back at you with the Blade Storm here. Divide catching him. The 140 cleanup from Forsaken. Chichu left to do it all. And it's too much. 7-2 now for PRX.
What a recovery in the round from something. It looked like EDG had done everything they needed to. When PRX pit like that, they can't control angles very well. They can't stop the retake from taking all of that space. EDG barrel their way all up to pipes, get 2 kills through the pit, and still can't win it in the 5v3.
Shout out to Grenma.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Coming up with really nice adjustments in those spots, despite their decentralized calling structure.
We're back into it for round 10. Nearing the end of the first half of Icebox here. EDG not with a lot of money. Still some danger though. No, but he's just missed that timing. Whoa! He's been caught. Lulled into a false sense of security there just from the contacting up by PRX. They waltz their way forwards into the A site now using the drone to clear most of this way.
And it is an eco round, a half-buy round from EDG, but I think nobody's given them a little too easy of an entrance there.
Man down for Jing as well. Nothing to really push this one back. It looks like EDG might have wanted to take the fight towards it. They're already in through the back of the side. The flash is quite excellent. Cloudburst at the feet to try and defend as well, but it comes down to Chichu. 1v2 in the peak of the top of the wall. It's just so unorthodox. You don't expect it. That's what you get with PRX. They're always going to be trying to knock you off tilt.
That's a great peek. I love that one. The wall is so useful. It's not just a wall to get kills on top of, but Jing showing there that you can set up multiple double faces and unexpected peak timings even on that. EDG, they're going to have rifles available. Still not going for that operator on Kankan. It's round 11. They need this. Otherwise, they're basically out of their map pick already.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good your attack side is.
Here.
If you're starting this many rounds down. You need brilliance, and EDG need his last 2. Someone's going to throw in that to late knife, but it just gets broken from what that space is already granted. And given Hunter's Fury. Suppressed though, pulled out of the animation. That's an ult that's going to be wasted from Forsaken. That was just Simon using his null command to do the job. He's forced to pivot away, but no map control for PRX. It's a bit of a scurry and a scramble, if I do say so myself. They break the turret at least into mid. Poor Timmy.
Yeah, they're really threatening some kind of mid lurk right now, which should keep Kankan cemented in mid. He's going to get aggressive, take a risk, go and re-clear this a little. But they're still not moving people away from the A site. They're expecting this to be a re-hit. They are dead wrong.
Smoggy must find some value into this position. And something rips his head off, man.
He's been playing the same angle since the pistol round. He's always on that spot. Bad wall from Jing, has to be broken.
And Hunter's Fury forced out at least. Plant was an attempt to be stuck. Nobody. They'll let loose a few beams of lightning. Only the one tag though. Slow orbs through and out. There needs to be the defense. Kang. He's ahead of it though. We were talking about them catching these timings, trying to get quirky with it. Dash, active, Jing. But he's
that
off a bit.
quirky.
They're running straight into them. Seeing glimpses here of the ancient way that China likes to play. Drop down, nobody seeking to deny this plan. Jing, the entire time being pushed to his limits with time. Going down now, but an extension for it. 2 versus 1, Devi. Try and shut this down. Best chance, and a long while by EDG, and they grasp it firmly to at least get that 3rd round.
What a devastating mistake that was for Jing to make. Putting his wall in such a bad spot. No one was nearby to be able to break it while it was in its weakened state, apart from his own team. So if he'd put it down properly, they would have had a much better post plant. Plant maybe would have been denied by the Hunter's Fury, but at least they would have been in a position where they could get back up to it without getting punished by Kong Kong like that. Now, what that dash was, that was too quirked up for me. That was bonkers. But EDG got one on the board. A light chuckle there as well, and a light heart attack. That's what you're going to get in this game, I think. Right, viewers included. We need to put one of those warnings on, like at the beginning of the show. Any photosensitivities or heart conditions, look away.
Your heart's going to be racing here, watching this. Nobody. Unusual with the angle. Will be pushed and postured away in through the back of the site now. 5 players grouped up for PRX. This is it. For the last hurrah, honestly, for the first half of Icebox. Dash up and over something. Again, he's so unusual and unorthodox in terms of his position that he does like to play it. Especially on this A side. A lockdown, though, from EDG. It's going to force most of these PRX players out. I believe they'll be able to escape detainment.
And now the re-hit. PRX love to go for these. EDG was expecting it in the previous round, and they were wrong. Do they stick to their guns here? They're 4 defending the A side.
They're willing to fight over this one, tooth and nail, as the curtain drops. Bodies will fall and topple. Forsaken being one of them. Rez online, though. Trying to get these equal trades out, and somehow it's PRX who have found his advantage into the round. Devi leaves himself as a piece of paper. Smoggy on the high ground, dropped down, 6 HP. Not enough to survive. And Chichu alongside him will be forced to spectate. Kang Kang in a 1v2.
Spike planted.
He's caught the time behind them, but still guns are trained on this spot. And position Forsaken. First shot accuracy is there. 9-3 is where we stand.
Forsaken has been playing such a good game. He's 15-7. He's been getting active and involved in so many of these fights, able to play a little more aggressively than you'd expect perhaps for somebody playing Sova, but also more aggro than he gets on a lot of his flex rolls. EDG are in trouble here.
Yeah, they certainly are. Barely been time for even a breather, but we will get some time as well, the teams to discuss heading into the next half. We're going to send it down to the floor for a nice little interview. I know. We'll be sweeping the floor with multiple Riot titles.
No, at the same time, though, you don't expect that Gold Rainer in your games to be a world champion in esport, do you?
No, I feel like that's where the Smurfing allegations might come out as well.
But all right, EDG, dire straits for this Chinese team.
It really is. It's a pistol round that, yep, I feel like, once more, broken record when I say it, but it needs to be a must-win because it's their map pick. Sunset's next. PRX have managed to squeak that one through in the map pool. One of their best maps.
Absolutely. They're 100% their best map. They're one of the best teams in the world on Sunset. Super consistent. And this is EDG's map pick. However, on the pistol, EDG have been waiting outside B just for a moment like this, where PRX have that false sense of security and pull people away from the defense. Something, however, returns to the fray.
Yeah. They're all grouped up, ready for the fight as well. Once more, Wall's going to be dropping, but heads rolling. For EDG, they're going to be happy with it. Something seeks to equalize, only gets the one, but still plays for his life. Buying time for the rest of the team, and the rotations are bound here for PRX already. Back into the fight, nobody, but the plan needs to be defended. Let's get it off, and Smoggy, who's the casualty, something still there. Kicking, getting active, spraying away with just a few Sheriff bullets, all it takes. Teammates alongside him. EDG have to sail their way through here with a little bit of discipline, underhanded with the flash as well, but it's being punished in kind. Devi, he's got him penned in. Simon, there's only so much one man can do. And against that onslaught of PRX, it's not enough at all. That's their 10th round. That's a pistol round. Momentum is entirely in the hands now of PRX.
And that's also a recovery from a 3v5 situation. Quickly turned into a 3v4, must admit, but EDG should have been in control of that one. Their pistol round strategy, their idea actually worked. But you can see it on the frustration, the faces of Muggle and Haodong. this map, it's a blowout at this point. EDG don't even have enough money to be able to force. They're looking like they're going to get absolutely rinsed, smoked, destroyed on their map pick. And whoever loses here and gets grouped in champions, it is going to be such bitter, bitter disappointment for their year.
Yeah. An attempt, maybe to bring down Mindfreak, maybe crack open the B side, but gonna retreat back to the corner. Util posturing him away. EDG need a miracle, need an eco win. Jing's up and over on top of the wall, seeking these angles. Forsaken with the swing. The plan was not held down. Surrounded, escapes EDG once more.
Perfect.
Fallen to pieces before their very eyes, and you mentioned that disappointment. For EDG, it's definitely going to be palpable. It's a squad that just been trying to exceed expectations that fans levy against them, expectations that them, expecting, I suppose, of themselves.
Toxins going up.
Absolutely. This team was looking to break that glass ceiling for China. They were fighting to break through, to take down big squads, make runs like Tokyo over and again. And just like PRX, they've been overtaken at the moment within their region. PRX are no longer the team you associate with Pacific as that big team. Gen.G took that away from them and then have waltzed out of this tournament. But EDG already, I mean, Trace, for example, who EDG destroyed in China in their upper bracket finals. Destroyed them, didn't look close. Trace out of their group, number one.
Yeah. I mean, it's purely going to be either just an idea to get around on the board or bring the morale back up.
Here.
Which, like you said, they spoke to him 2 rounds ago.
They're also heading into the maw.
This is PRX with a stack ready to receive. Open arms, 2 shots, all it takes. The Outlaw in hand, something has dropped the star player of EDG.
Yeah.
In that head-to-head clash and battle, it's all been something. Dart. Shot and broken away. Jing has not revealed his position at all in the slightest, but potentially played right back in from all the sound cues. Noise made. Mindfreak ripping their hopes and dreams up and tearing them apart and tearing them asunder. It's 12 for PRX. One more step. It's all they have to take to seal up the map.
They're looking sharp today. The coordination's there. The players are firing. And now they're confident as well. So they're taking liberties. You see the way that something's playing. Dashing forward, playing inside of his cloudburst, willing everybody else on his team forward to play off him. I think that's a noise the EDG fans are making as well.
Yeah.
Just a...
It's me when I spot a spider in the bathroom. just a squeak. Any sense of masculinity out the window, if I had it already, but here it is, PRX. Something is lighting him up, man. And he's sharp, he's locked in, you can tell, man, the way he is snapping to these angles, snapping to the util. And a deep push from PRX shows all the confidence in the world. They've already taken B main control. They are putting the squeeze on EDG. They're looking to end this entire map here and now. Hunter's Fury pushes them through. It's straight up the gut, in through mid. So much uncertainty, you cannot stand your ground. 13-3. It's domination. It's a sweep and a flawless finish for Icebox.
PRX absolutely...
Attack peak.
It could easily be a hold that then becomes a push to try to find the lurker as well. They've got multiple options here depending on the pacing. They know that EDG 4-1 all the time.
Yeah, the old
Shishu hard lurks.
And quadruple high-low. Not getting past that. As soon as they see the cam as well, now start moving together. As I said earlier, there's nothing scarier than PRX when they're a hive mind. Chichu barely alive here. He's still being ran down here with a fault line. Still, there's that pressure applied to him. No bodies, no chasing him. It's EDG recognizing that, and they're going to make sure that they take the space over towards this A site. Nobody has the spike, though. They can't even get themselves on to plant this one, and a fast fight once more. Something's into the fray. A skirmish taken. And PRX raiding the day.
Spike down A.
They didn't even let the plant get close to going down.
Mighty.
That's pretty perfect. In terms of an anti there, flush Chishu out, make sure that he can't have impact in the round, though he'll attempt to win the 1v4. But you got no chance in that kind of position. They pushed Chishu so far back, He will never get that timing to lurk behind them before PRX have initiated the retake. And even so, they fight the pre-take before the plant is even close. Like you said, it was on nobody, and he was bringing it in way later than the rest of the team.
Miles away, right?
That is a beautiful pistol to run against a team that likes to 4-1 all the time. And you look at this map, I know as the agents were being selected there and we were going into Sunset, everyone could see the stats, the recent stats anyway, of EDG being on a 3-map win streak on Sunset. But the one right before that, they lost to PRX in Shanghai, 6-13. And that was what forced EDG to make this shift over to playing the Team Heretics comp.
EDG might just be stunted and stopped in their tracks once more.
Cage triggered.
This tournament here of champs. Fight to be taken. It's a double flash and a swing. Through and out here with a util. Doors opened up wide. And players dropped in their place. PRX 3 do survive into it, so going to be able to get themselves a nice and healthy bonus.
Yeah, not bad by any means. EDG, even if they get into post-plant positions, are going to have to be playing aggressive. You just can't fall back into those standard busted post-plant spots when the defending team is running a wall that can block you off and then wingman that hops on, and then they all push forwards apart from the diffuser. It's really difficult. EDG are going to have to be pushing in post-plant, setting up aggressively, crossfires on site. It's tough. It's so tough playing against PRX on this map, as their last 12 wins in a row should indicate.
Sunburn, judge in hand. Doubled up. I feel like there's so much danger just drifting over towards this A site. The cam's removed. PRX do not shy away from a fight. But the slow play by EDG. Looking to reap the rewards from this. Smoggy. He was jiggling it. Barely a shoulder peeking out, but now head's turned away and just barely missing it. Forsaken's already rattled off the shot. Chichu, who was there? Forsaken definitely overstaying himself, but slow orbs layered down through B main. EDG still with a minute of time to play, work with. They can take their time with this one. The longer they do it, the more risks that PRX themselves are going to take. Devi's getting a pretty good idea right now that EDG are still locked into place towards the V site.
Something's just holding with the judge on the other side of the map. Mindfreak
Mindfreak.
not cleared.
Yep, steadies his hand as well. Just leaves it fully open towards the back of the site, just gives that one up because he's not being cleared, and Patience fully paying off potentially there. This guy holds it down with the Bulldog. Squirrels it away and just grabs 2 kills before he's eventually traded down, and a chance. There's a life into the round here for PRX. Dizzy up and over through the window, but no connection, no acknowledgement. Devi is there. Lovely movement from Kang Kang. Sidesteps the bullets. Ensures that he's favorited in it. It's exactly what something is not with this gun in his hands.
I think the gun differential has made a big difference in this round. Something's kind of stuck. Don't really want to be saving the judge either. I think it's kind of similar with Mindfreak. I think if he hadn't had a Bulldog, there's a serious chance that he could have gotten 3 there rather than 2 in that kind of position. Oh, more damage done.
And a rifle, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Nice little surprise.
Good economic impact there from PRX, but a round on the board fairly early on. Already almost as many as they got in the entirety of Icebox. They'll be hoping for an extraordinarily different result here. That's worrying that EDG, none of them thought at all. But the thing is, once the first 1 or 2 people have gone in, the others just don't even think to check spots like that, because why didn't the people at the front do it?
Exactly, and also, I mean,
it would have been
fired
clear
earlier.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Devi, he's got the operator in his hands.
Of course he does.
There's a lot of players that might be facing him here. Tripled up, tagged up by the knife.
Well, if I tagged Devi, I wouldn't expect an op. Maybe for something. If I tagged the Gecko, I might be thinking op.
My ult's ready.
Push back here over towards A main, so Chink's got that showstopper now into this round.
Right here.
It's got to be clean from EDG.
Yeah, they really need this. Credits on Kong Kong, Nobody, and Smoggy. All really low. guess Kankan could scrap something together with the ult that he's got online, but it would not be pretty. The Showstopper's quickly making its way over to B, responding to that drone, picking up a little bit of a potential lurk play through mid. Jing is here, and this is where the spike's going.
Caution.
Yeah, I was a bit worried as well. Devi was holding down towards the B site when the drone was used prior, but knife towards the back stuns as well. Here's a Showstopper, it's an instant response. Flashed up though, Jing. He's blind as a bat. Had to let loose there with the ult. No casualties, a slight pause being called here by EDG, but honestly, might just end up falling anyway. Shots missed, EDG, the feed is filled up with red. Making sure to grasp these chances. Jing still managed to slip his way in through the back. Sharp as anything. Precision is on display, and time now against EDG. It was looking like them to take this one. Oh my god, backs have just opened up to these players. Jing is working his way around, and Chichu covers.
Bizarre, some of the moments in that round. Really bizarre. I do like the call from EDG to go for a re-hit. As soon as the Showstopper was baited out by that high flash and did not catch onto Kankan, they had the route back through. Forsaken, I think he just didn't hear Chichu barreling back towards him, throwing cages at his back and all sorts.
In the chaos of the situation.
If Forsaken had just taken a breath there and turned back around to deal with the lurker, maybe that's a different round, but EDG will be super happy to get that one on board. Big eco swing round going the way of the Chinese orb.
Back to me.
PRX looking to try and take this round with a bit of proactivity on their half pipe. Vacuum up the orb, see if they can get a cheeky kill. They show presence, they back away now looking for the stack into mid, and I think the signs of a really great team at events is when they're trying to really extract every efficiency out of even half by rounds. Forsaken with the peak will be punished. He was trying to grab that information. The rest of his team. So an open site here for EDG.
Forsaken not using his Aftershock to break the trip over towards A main, so PRX keep walking down mid and taking some tiles control, but they can never flank in the retake, because that trip's always going to give it away. They might try it at some point in this half, but it will be watched.
Oh, that's lovely control. Kind of holding the line towards the back of the site, ensuring that nobody can cross past that boundary.
Flash.
Even hunt a few more players down. Hello. Giving up guns.
Yeah, this kind of damage is not great for EDG. This should have been their round to get the economy blooming.
They'll still take the round, of course. PRX will be happy with the rifles.
And it's not too much damage. EDG players can still buy. It's not a big issue. So they take the lead. Exactly what EDG were looking for early on here. Of course, they'd have loved the pistol round as well. But in terms of getting themselves cemented, shaking off all of the horrors of Icebox and leaving it like a bad dream behind them in the past, they've now secured as many rounds as they did in the entirety of that map one. And the players, I think you can see there from Kankan's perspective, they're looking fairly sharp themselves.
Yeah, they bounced back nicely.
Yeah, he was just farming the ecos there. He's got to do that with rifles online as well.
Am I a bad person?
Nicely.
Yeah, he was just farming the ecos there. He's got to do that with rifles online as well.
That's the round we're going to be watching here. Round 6. With the economy equalise a little bit. Kang is stepping up to that challenge. Devi rounded about there. He had Mindfreak by his side, and that's a no command going into the B split. This is putting the squeeze on the Mindfreak. Look at him head on a swivel. Doesn't know really which way to look, but still tucked to the corner. Could be trying to strike straight back, but no. EDG got that discipline and awareness. Was there for them. Door busted and broken down, but Chichu's there holding the cross. Making sure to chop up these angles. Nade rebounding to try and clear the way for PRX to potentially get anything going for them, but it will be another round for EDG.
Sharp shooting from EDG, but badly synced up in terms of how they were fighting into market. Something way ahead of Jing and Forsaken, miles behind. The spacing could not have been poorer. So EDG gifted with a slightly easier cleanup, but the open was lovely. And they can't do that all the time, of course. The null command, massive ultimate. But utilized well to keep this lead going and to break the economy of PRX, unless they choose to go to force around this saved Vandal, but I'm not so sure it's going to be saved.
Oh, I mean, it will... Well, Fault line to slow them.
Whoa! How's he gotten out of that?
Hey, man!
He just moonwalked out of there!
That's ridiculous. Houdini level plays.
He's been learning from something. That was the some swing to save. What's going on there? This tried to take fights through mid. But ever since the pistol round, Jishu's been extremely cautious.
Yeah.
He hasn't been taking very much of that space in mid, unless the whole team is splitting.
Shutting them down.
EDG are showing really good signs that they understand how to control the tempo. They're not getting sucked into the fights.
Yeah, and they're also showing, I think, good awareness of how PRX wants to take this map.
Yeah.
And denying it from them.
PRX are set up with a trap play off of Jing's contact. It's just jiggling.
I don't like this, though. It's very, very difficult to follow up on any of these kind of trap plays unless you have a showstopper. It's just...
They want to go for it anyway. Paranoia does connect. But again, like you said, it's very difficult to follow up on any of this unless nobody, and Chichu, are willing to give them the fight for it with a smoke.
At the same time, you're at least still closing off B main. So, you know, you're putting another stall into it for the attacking team. But EDG were not fully committed to B. They were split. And they feed that information over to the other side of the map and quickly take elbow.
Yeah. It's the benefit of running that slow default here. Something that is... There's no way. This is... Oh my! The Damon up close! There's no saving him. So what? No bullets landing. And now defended! Simon comes to his rescue. PRX willing to try and fight over this one. They don't want to give up this territory. And with the doubled up discipline, showstopper, round and a bound. That's a kill. Claim for Jing. Anyone's game here, at least it should have been looking like it, but PRX, they just swarm into the site.
It's an absurd spot to go for a thrash, especially considering you're playing against a Neon who could just run you down at any moment. Got the thrash time in perfect, didn't get the follow-up, team bailed him out. And crucially, another point to note, while we were talking about that fight over B main, that allowed Jing to be able to pick up the ult orb and get the showstopper online. So he was one away from it at the start of the round. I was talking about the fact I don't really like that trap play because it very rarely results in a kill unless you have the ult. But he used it to get the ult. He used that B main control really importantly to be able to come in here and help out something. 2 massive ultimates used though, and PRX still trail by 1.
We couldn't kill him.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Just disbelief. I mean, I was gobsmacked.
Something, of course, is worried that there's going to be other people holding him in that spot. That's why he didn't go for a wide swing. Here's a wide swing.
Yeah, we're not slowing down, are we? That's the vibe. Head clean off the shoulders of Kang. Jing from the side as well. And a slow orb drop down on top of the wall. The danger zone for EDG. Can't hold a candle to it.
And this is one of the first times where they've got the read perfect on where EDG were going to fight. And they had so many players there. They 4-stacked the site that EDG decided to go towards. It just looks like you're going into a blender.
Yeah, and I don't know why EDG rushed into trying to take that fight through A main precisely. They've been playing these slow defaults and they've been working out a lot.
They have, yeah. They haven't really been going for that fast elbow control too much. At the same time, when there's that many PRX players reading the play, I think even they're going for a slow approach. As long as they went A, PRX were ready. It was like man versus combine harvester. Very unfair.
They're just chewed to pieces.
Oh.
That is cheeky.
TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen this one before. I remember EG pulling that this year. There was an op in the hands, though.
I think they actually Omen teleported on top of the box to off it.
Oh, Smoky! Goodness me, Adjustment just spotting it. The res is online, though, so Devi will quickly be able to offset any of the disadvantages that came about from that.
But now, because of the TikTok wall, Devi doesn't have it for the retake. So if EDG get in, get the plant.
They're going in for it. Still, Forsaken was incredibly committed. Jing on top, on high ground, on from the box. Will be toppled.
I know exactly.
You can plant and play a B main post plant here. Normally you have to play aggressive, but with that wall gone, you can back up. And that's a huge advantage for EDG.
Now happily play for that one. Nobody has also got that ult in his back pocket with a Hunter's Fury. It's an extra layer of safety.
Right here.
Even onto the angle. The pings are flying forward, just trying to catch the line. Ensure that he doesn't miss any second of it. A tap. There's the ult. Paranoia from Smoggy. Then to supplement here. Mindfreak out into the open arms. Time start to run short Mindfreak trying to hold this line as well, ensuring that they can try and get this defuse online. Something with the wingman broken. It's running away from them. Device leaping into the frame. Man, looking like a salmon upstream. Something sticking and defended entirely.
You did good.
What a fumble from EDG there. PRX, that's the game they want to play. They're so practiced in those retake scenarios, but they didn't even have the Sage Wall to work with. You very, very rarely see multiple players in B main both desperately trying to slam the clip back into their gun so they have enough ammunition to work with to spam.
Rising wing!
Oh, there it is. We're waiting for that. It's like we played a laugh track in the audience.
I'm not even sure what that was in reference to.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I mean, maybe the wall?
Possibly.
Yeah.
It might be because of that. They do sometimes pull things. Simon's one away from getting null command online. See whether they decide to fight heavy over B main to get that orb, because that's exactly where PRX want to fight. It's another opportunity where they could try to run this trap play. But again, if Forsaken ults this, I'm not sure you can follow up that easily. Gonna go for a bit of aggro control. Remember that PRX can occasionally go for like the wall on top of that box and, you know, peek into mid.
Yeah.
We've seen them do all sorts of weird stuff, so EDG have to be careful.
They do like to cook. Jing. Drone's been broken. Kang expected the swing. It was too suspicious, I think, when a drone gets broken in that regard.
Yeah. Read like a book. An easy book, a young adult novel.
Easily digestible. What is going on with this all? Okay, Rolling Thunder.
These are the kind of plays These are the kind of plays I hate from PRX, though. That is just such a waste of an ultimate.
Smelling a timeout being called from PRX's side.
Which makes no sense, because they've won 3 in a row.
But just to rein it in, get a bit of discipline back into the ranks. Forsaken. Got walkabouts here. Potential to be punished. No, now the reaction. EDG alongside it. Devi can hear these footsteps. Many circulating all around him. That's lovely adjustment of the rifle aim. Still, he's going to be paranoid. Up. Blinded up. No noise cues. He'll be able to follow up on this one, though, with the solar orbs to defend him still. He just turns away at precisely the wrong moment in EDG. Making sure that they capitalize directly on top of that one. That's now down to that 2 versus 3. Mindfreak and Forsaken. Up onto this retake.
Last player standing.
Forsaken dropping. Leaves it down to just Mindfreak. Spotted Simon's positioning. TP into the corner. Stray bullets from nobody. It's precarious and now unwinnable. As I say that, he's found himself a corridor, a window, but peek in the smoke. Nobody just hugging tight to the corner.
A little sloppy there from PRX. Taking their foot off the gas maybe slightly, or just not prioritizing, perhaps, the big tools that they had to be able to win the round.
That's an insane play with the rolling one.
Yeah, they wanted B main info. I guess they thought that there were going to be some EDG players over there. And Devi did a decent job at staying alive in elbow. He just got caught at the final moment. A couple of duels got the way of EDG, and they're looking nice for it. We see the Gecko operator picked up over towards B main. And this is an area of the map PRX have put huge value on.
And he's hit it. Nails the shot.
Down, B.
Nobody's going to be dropping straight to the floor. Jingdo, re-exploration. Not set up by any form of utility.
Expecting EDG to be running those 4-1 defaults that I'm talking about. Actually, EDG have been more spread than usual today.
Yeah, little 2-3s. And a slower play of EDG. As I said earlier, it's what got them that string of 4 rounds prior. Paranoia now as they bide their time, wait it out, now send it forwards with the war, but it's something. Okay, Forsaken wanted to try and play himself inside of this. What an adjustment by Kang. Snaps it 90 degrees to the side, and now huge player advantage.
Mindfreak teleported past the first trip.
What more to deal with?
He would be hurt if he went for it here.
Yeah, he would, definitely. Something's got to parade it. Somebody will just walk into his sight line, crosshair placement. Trip's going to be broken off of that noise cue. The call hasn't been made. Wait, there's a back to these players. Back to back. Mindfreak. He finds it finally with the kill. Now there's a Paranoia. An attempt to play them back in, but a flash in kind. EDG stalling out. These PRX players just fall long enough, and Kang squares up. Wants more to that challenge. That's 3 in a round for him. something Seoul job now just to try and save on to this operator.
And he's going to be keeping it into round 12. Is he? Oh. Yeah, he's just survived with it. EDG find another round, take the lead again, up 6-5. But I'm reminded of what Steele was talking about on the desk of looking like there were comms issues there for EDG. As soon as that trip was broken, Chishu should be aware there's somebody on the flank, and yet completely confused, didn't relay that over to Smoggy. Bizarre interaction. PRX's economy, though, is not looking good here for the final round.
Round of this first half of Sunset, that's an open B site. Prime for the taking for EDG. The knife hasn't seen much. The dart even better. Doesn't get broken, so they know that the front section of B is entirely theirs. I'll send in the usual utility just in case.
Jing's got that showstopper online.
That's going to have to be the ticket, I think, for a chance of PRX winning this round. That and a share of fame.
There.
He's really been trying to farm these orbs, and EDG have to play aggro, have to play on site.
They're straight up in through market. It's an aftershock and a slow orb as well. Kang is completely separated, isolated still, traded out. Head just peeking over. Chichu, he's still alive here for the moment. Tethered himself into the corner of the site with the operator in the hands of something as a Thrash earns up now to Fish. Sent flying forwards to Tainment then. It should be a kill, collected indeed. It is! And any defense gets dismantled.
When you're watching what happened on Icebox, a 13-3 map, you wouldn't have expected both teams to be dead even here, but that's exactly what's happened. EDG have woken up, PRX finding their moments to respond. We couldn't be more level at the half.
Yeah, it's just been unreal so far, living up to the expectations that we set on this matchup between two of these orgs that have so much damn history.
Country. They exist in the context of all the map wins that came before them. The 12-map streak.
What is Blood waffling about?
They're on the attack side here. Their attack side looks deadly in a lot of these spots. They're execs onto site. The pistol's going to be vitally important.
Yeah.
Take flight.
At least just for giving you momentum and starting to build up to massive ultimates on both sides of the map.
PRX. No one holding this A main avenue. It's not going to be pushed by Kang, of course, with the one-way in his face. Just looking to hold it. Nobody getting some information. Spotting the players now. Smoke's going to be cutting out off the picture from that one angle, and now call is made. They want to try and make a play now to the B split. Wall to give them safe passage. Be any spam going away. Jing, Levi, I should say, even just trying to get cheeky himself. There's smokes to be played in and out of. Jing is way ahead of it. There's a stun layer down and a flash on top of it with the paranoia blinded up. Dart is there. This is chaos. This is anarchy. And EDG, they temper it, they control it, at least for the time being. A player advantage to be found. Device wrapping all the way from behind. The backs are turned, and EDG have lost the plot and lost track of all these players. They don't know which way to take it. Devi has potentially worked on something. 1v1. Right click. Not enough to do it. Simon. I called him the newcomer to this EDG squad, but he's done it again for them. He's been in these clutch scenarios over and over again.
When you're thinking about the way that PRX and EDG are going to battle against each other, these are the rounds you remember back to in their 5 matches previous. And this is what you imagine it's going to be like the entire time. It's just bonkers. Yeah. EDG are going for a big retake, death balled up together, and PRX have got flanks on their flanks. They're looking around. How many shots were just into the back of people's heads there? Twisted and turned around, and yet EDG come out on top. Somehow able to control the chaos. Truly absurd.
Yeah, and a huge deal for EDG. A lot of teams will get lost in the mix of that, where PRX normally thrive. They've managed to take this pistol round now.
That is not great.
Yeah, the only thing past that is taking a pistol, you need to clean it up past this point, especially because Kang's just gone down.
They also haven't retrieved that gun. Smoggy didn't feel comfortable enough going forwards there in case he was walking into the stack, so they've left that weapon on the floor. I'm not sure that Devi can necessarily know that. He hasn't re-peeked it, but he's calling the rest of PRX over to take this fight. Spectre still down, like a treasure to be gathered.
Pack mentality here from PRX. Paranoia is perfect though. EDG have really make sure to pick and choose this timing. It's excellent. Shot nobody! Oh! The ace ripped away, but listen, eco kills at the end of the day. Nobody. There's 2 away now from the ult. And I did say it needed to be cleaned up after that point, and that was about as clean as you can get.
Yeah, I mean, if nobody had gotten the ace, he would only be 1 orb away from the ultimate. That's a really good ult from the defense side. So Smoggy doing a little bit of trolling, but that's okay.
All good. All good. They're going to be happy with that, I think.
Yeah, very happy. EDG are looking great here. They're also still going to have a decent economy heading into the next. Buying up 2 Bulldogs into this round. PRX need this one. Like I said, it's been 12 in a row for them on Sunset.
Oh yeah!
They easily beat EDG last time they played, but this time, Chinese team giving them more to worry about.
Trip just buying that safety net. Nobody's right through the smoke as well. Not expecting that timing. He's taken out 2 of them with just the Spectre in hand. He's working miracles over towards the B site and buying enough time for the rest of the team. What the hell is occurring here? Wingman up and over. Something with the plant still tapping. Paranoia is flooding through an EDG. They want to take that fight. The skirmish is called for. And they swarm it in together.
Destroying PRX, not giving them any respect on site. EDG are in as soon as the plant is tapped. Timeout called already by PRX. Because, I mean, look how aggro they are. Dodging that first wave of utility and immediately running back in. And Alex is not happy about the way he's played that.
Immediate timeout.
Whereas things actually sound quite casual on the side of EDG. Not just the rounds you get on the board. Who gets to which ults first matters enormously.
Staunch the bleeding.
And at this point, EDG are massively in the driver's seat. It's going to take something special from PRX. But they are no strangers to pulling out miracle moments.
Now they've got that potential always there, ready and waiting. There's a punish. Kang. EDG, they heard that all being tapped, and it wasn't quite a tap, it was a full committal. That is quite an overextension potentially there from nobody, but he uses the drone to clear this through as well. Shock darts up and over, something peppered with the bullets, but still alive. Even reclaiming the rifle. I always get a little bit scared, I think, when you open up mistakes or give up plays and players like that, where Kang's just going down, handing over a weapon to a team like PRX. And it's an open A site as a result of it.
Forsaken has not been getting that aggressive. I'm not sure he realizes they're playing a retake at the moment.
Can't use this yet.
If you work your way up a little deeper and you spot trips in certain positions, it can be a read. They're trying to fake A, re-hit B, but there's no one even on the A site to know they're faking.
Yeah, EDG here. Still want to try and hold their ground. Look at that, nobody. Ensures that there will be nobody crossing that main area. And most of the danger evaporates with those few kills. Now the rifle is still alive in Mindfreak's hands. Map control has been lost, but with only 17 seconds to do it, the time pressure is probably just going to be a little bit too much here for these players. Forsaken holding in case there is that peak.
Forsaken doesn't want to keep a sheriff.
Left.
No, and he will be falling anyway. 8 seconds here. Does Mindfreak even... You've got to commit to this. Taps. Okay. Just looking to do damage, take some guns out of their hands, maybe keep this rifle. One of his own, he doesn't.
Not going to hurt him too much. Take a look at this shot from something. It's not bad. Kang's facing there into 3 players though. Bit off a little more than he could chew in that round, but it did not hurt them. Up to 10 for EDG. They've had a blistering open to this defense half. Yeah. Just had the read on PRX. PRX like to run a lot of fast rounds, and EDG have had the answer. Dial up the tempo themselves on the retakes.
Looking all the more likely that we end up heading over towards Lotus. Knife not broken. Simon gets the info. There's at least 2 players playing there as well. This is something just exploring mid, essentially alone. I mean, he is.
Trap play on A, by the way. Cam takes contact towards where Forsaken is positioned, and they previously had a paranoia set up. They've decided to
I must wait a moment.
abandon that. Cam gets broken, and now they're on their own. Dual re-clear through elbow. But PRX are not really putting good pressure on the A site. EDG are able to retake this spot fairly easily, give themselves good info. PRX are heavily favoring B. And EDG have had the read.
Oh, what a knife is good as well from Simon once more. It's going to pull players from EDG back over. And the smokes
Cover going out.
now going to be sent out here. This is Mindfreak. Rest of PRX trying to follow the cues.
Did they go for the Sova ult?
There's 40 seconds left here. Wingman with the plant. It's an unusual position for it as well. Just maybe just trying to play ahead of the Hunter's Fury, but the plant goes down without any problem. Still that backside control as well, but a Hunter's Fury to try and play these players in EDG. They have that advantage once more with the players! PRX, they can't stand against it. They get extinguished as they're just trying to pull towards the back of the side. Something weaving in and out past this wall, but he's only one man. What can you do in this spot? Up and over with the Dizzy. Nobody's defusing because he knows he's got that safety net. His teammates holding, and hold they will. Safe hands from Chichu. 11th round now for EDG. Once more the money. It's going to be awkward for PRX. The losers bonus is definitely starting to accrue, but EDG, at this point, they are almost fated to go to that map 3.
EDG got a flurry of kills here when they were on the retake. Towards the back of Boba, PRX trying to force the fight. And EDG not going in as quickly as they had done in previous rounds, but mopping up just as easily.
Right here.
Nobody picks up the Odin as well, which is going to melt through that Sage wall. Something they could have gone for on Icebox, never opted into.
Fast play is called up. Thrash not seeing much in terms of the backside. Chewed up there by the trap wire. Wingman sent flying forwards here for the plant. Bullets spraying and praying away. Not enough to push back that plant, but the res is online, so something's back into the fight and into the skirmish. They want to try and hold it down, but now retreating out back and away here. There's a flank timer from Forsaken potentially there, but he's miles away at that. And EDG already in position here. Primed.
First passive post plant from PRX.
Showstopper sent out into the hands of Jing.
Simon's
Satchel
dead.
At his feet. A tap from nobody. And the angle from Chichu won't be safe from that one. He was seeing if he could do some of that damage ahead of time. Still nobody committing onto this one, but Smoggy might have just returned that favor back at it. With the kills flying through, Forsaken trying to buy time with the flank. Already there, everybody's down and out, but time. It worked against him in the end with that hourglass just running dry. So PRX get up to 7.
But it's a bittersweet victory there for PRX. Their economy is going to be garbage coming out of this.
Yeah.
A tragic situation. The first time that they chose to play a passive post plant instead of trying to fight on site. And it worked. But then Smoggy killed everybody and has ruined their economy heading into the next round. They're going to be coming in with 2 Guardians, no Boombot, no Mosh, only 1 slow, no Paranoia.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
They're prioritizing the weaponry, but their util is really missing.
Trying to keep the morale up as well. Just hearing Jing towards the end there. This again, another rapid approach. This is Mindfreak. Just wandering. He's a nomad at this point. There's no one to play off of this one to jump spots. Oh, miscommunication again. It rears its head. And Mindfreak will rip them off. Chichu now has to take risks. He knew he had to play the forward angle, just hoping that somebody would just walk into him from the main position. But at this point, PRX sealed up and stolen this round away.
Is that the kind of issue that's just going to get PRX 1 round, though, and EDG quickly cover it? Or is that indicative of a larger problem that might allow PRX back in? This is a larger problem.
Yeah.
The fact that Smoggy is just killing everybody.
You have to keep these guns. I mean, the economy is just too good for EDG. You're not even doing economical damage at this point.
And also, you're only really getting 3K plus the spike plant.
Oh, Kang knows. Kang knows. Overdrive, wait. They can still make a play for this one. Smokes up.
No way.
No chance.
What a throw.
He's got the spam and spray this one away. Defends it. No way. Mindfreak. from the brink.
There's no way. I just utter relief. A quick shake of the head. That would have been a devastating toss of epic proportions. Mind Freak opens, Mind Freak closes. Everything in the middle was incredible trolling. That's technically a Red Bull clutch from Mind Freak. Should never have been. And I think the desk deserved that one. But look what it's done to the economy again. Double Guardians. At least this time they can pick up a bunch of util, but there's no flashes on Forsaken.
It's just scraps that you're working with if you're PRX.
So rough.
Pure scraps. And you're leaning on the individuality to bail you out once more. The deep mid push by EDG, all that information.
First time, no Sentinel.
Exactly. Not in a traditional sense. Mind Freak's back is wide open to the world. The Rolling Thunder to clear out most of the side as well. This game of timings, but Mind Freak is not going to expect this one as well because, well, the flash, hold on. Forcing it out, he does at least collect the one here. Forsaken, he's got to try and stem this bleeding. There's a cage up into his face with the bullets. Flying forwards here. Bits and pieces of lead. Suppression, though, across the board. No abilities to be playing with. Pure gunplay has to try and reign supreme and save the day for them, but there's that uncertainty in the step of the PRX players. Warlock from Devi. Simon will go down, at least post-mortem. It's the ult that just fades away. The player positioning from EDG, it should be known, should be noted, but they're putting a squeeze now entirely onto these players. And individuality will not save something, not out of that spot. Great movement from Chi-Chu. And the 12th round, tallied up, added to the total. EDG now, they can feel it. They're on the brink.
A really nice call from EDG on a round where not all of them had full weaponry. And PRX struggled enormously to get into good post-plant positioning there. They're all in solo spots. That's allegedly a Dizzy flash that catches onto Kangkang.
Oh my.
According to the assist, not that I saw it at all. But PRX were very slow, like I said, to transition into good post-plant spots there. They didn't play off device contact. They left him until last alive. Big errors creeping into PRX's game. After winning 13-3 on map 1, it looked done, it looked dusted. And yet EDG rise from the ashes, still with a chance of going to playoffs.
That's what is at stakes here for both of the teams. I mean, of course, elimination. Saying it all day long, but to make playoffs.
Cage triggered.
Last team to do it at that. To the B split. Thrash clears the way and paves a path open through into market. Trips going to be tangled and Gorging, who's lit up there, I believe, potentially by some trips, and it's played off beautifully. EDG are right into it, and they want to try and shut this down immediately. Hunter's Fury, peek by Forsaken. There's the punish. 3 left to stand. Insane mechanics, but it matters not against the hand and steady aim of Kang. They love to clash and fight here.
Well, here's a big clash happening towards A Rubble to begin. And with both of these compositions, I'm looking at them, it looks like EDG should have a big advantage in any Rubble fights.
Yeah, already seeing it. It's a flash to try and set them up nice and early here, but a nade cuts out the rest of Kang's team. EDG.
And PRX decide not to commit. They're looking to not even really trap, because otherwise you'd be expecting Mind Freak to be playing at that door. They're looking to just go for a 5-person re-clear.
And it's being held. There's almost an expectation of it from EDG with a Paranoia crossing its way up. And the noise cut. EDG, advantages to be found and had here, especially when the shots don't land and find that mark with Kang. He's doing entirely all that here. Aftershock into the corners, beautiful! And set the stage. And our map 3 into motion for EDG. They were so damn aware.
Yeah, that's such a sick read from EDG. The call there to completely hide, wait for PRX to re-clear, and notice that even when PRX are re-clearing, they don't trigger the fight. They only trigger the fight when the dog is used, when they realize that they're not just going to leave. EDG wanted the A site without any fuss. They didn't want to cause any trouble, but PRX had to decide to take the fight, so they made them pay.
Now with the guns in their hands as well, once more, same beginning. Doors opened up though.
I think the reason that PRX have changed their composition, by the way, to one that they used to run in the past, is because they're facing the Neon, Double Initiator, Clove. EDG's comp should want to go fast. It pushes a lot on the defense side as well. And so having those trips up, I guess PRX are just thinking is more valuable than running the double duelist, double initiator comp that they were previously testing out.
Yeah, it can be incredibly good.
It's an old comp, though.
Heavy committal. This is Kang Kang. He's trying to lock it down, but only 20 bullets into the clip. Luckily, he's got teammates and backup in spades. Nobody shuts down the eco round.
It gets fairly close to Nightfall. Probably won't have it online for round 3. So, looking like a bit of a dry bonus, but will have that for one of these potential swing rounds. At the end of the day, though, with all of our conversation around the compositions, I got to think back. The smartest man I know once said, "You get shot, you die," and he was quoting you.
Oh,
so,
well, how about that?
Yeah. Even some smart people will repeat what you say.
Exactly. Some signs of intelligent life coming from me. Nade up and over. This is PRX opting into the fight. The skirmish once more, but with Jing toppling, falling, something not able to evacuate. That was an updraft dash to survive, and Mindfreak is hard committed. Can't reset the aim. Only the one player found from that one. Devigon re-exploring. Util out into the few hands of these players, but already he's got to be aware of it, and yet sees the barrel. So now he knows his timing taken against it, but a Prowler waiting it. No way, peek, not together. Still, it's there. The Forsaken lineup right behind him for EDG to barrel them over.
Brutal beginning to PRX's Lotus. A map that they enjoy playing, but after how Sunset went, this is looking like a massive turnaround, a flip compared to map 1. EDG pick up pistol, pick up the bonus round. This is what catapulted them to success in the second half of Sunset.
And already,
couldn't be more different reactions from the coaching staff.
Absolutely, the death slam. You know what that signifies? The timeout button being hit.
After 3 rounds,
yep.
The tag timeout. They can't go out in groups and have a year of bombing out. Everything there also applies, perhaps even more to PRX.
It's mirrored, I think.
They used to fight for trophies. Been overtaken in Pacific, and now they might end up going out in groups here at Champs. A fate that they've met before. Though that did precipitate a roster change.
It certainly did. Once more EDG. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Face your fear.
These A hits have been given access to the sites over and over again.
They realize it's a retake setup. They don't have very much retake utility on PRX, so you've only got to worry about a Sky Flash and a Paranoia, really.
Trailblazer and the Boombot's already being used to try and...
Are they leaving?
Lay the path for PRX, yeah. I mean, the util's already being used.
PRX have read it. This is strange from EDG. They had the read, and now they're going into the stack.
Kang! Goodness me, close quarter combating. He's hoping and opting in for that upgrade, but it just opens his backup prime for the bullet to the back here. Smoggy also supplements off to the side, off angle from Divide, but not enough to stay alive. Simon! Goodness gracious me.
He has been so consistent for them in those tight situations, in the tough spots. Simon has been there already, paying dividends. The value that he's brought to this team. He's not always at the top of the scoreboard. He doesn't have the prettiest stats in the world, but he's good for big moments. That's an important asset for a new player to have. Bailed them out of a tough spot there. All smiles and laughter for Haodong, but that one got a little dangerous. And something has the op.
I mean, how do you even play this? The posture of the util, though, EDG faking like they've taken this A. Rubble control once more, this time walking into a different direction.
PRX are leaving gaps all over the map.
B is open entirely, and it's being read by EDG. They're already into the fight. Sometimes, yeah, I mean, Divide, spam down. What is that? Just into the corner, tucked. Maybe seeking to play spoiler. Nobody pushed back. Off and away from the plan. Once more, another tap. He's seeing if there's any more util. Well, that came from PRX. Shut out entirely from this B site.
Planted.
The composition itself is just not situated for these retakes. The amount of util that they have is essentially gone. As soon as Divide falls, he gets taken out of the fight here. The Haunt dealt with something with the dash as well, but there's no value to be had. Nobody's giving him that fight. And what a call to make. It looks like they're just going for the save.
That's brutal.
Dude.
If you don't want to play these retakes, though, why are you putting all of your Cypher utility and your operator on the same site?
That's the question.
And leaving B completely open. They 3-stack C, they put their op and the Cypher A, so both of those sites, very difficult to crack into. And you could give credit here to EDG that they've been conditioning A fights over and over at the beginning of this game. So maybe PRX felt comfortable in some degree that it wasn't just going to be a fast B hit. But if you do leave it open like that, there is no Viper wall you can put up to flash yourself in and try to isolate the entry. There's no
way.
No snake bite, no nanoswarm, nothing like that that you can use to try to isolate Kangkang from the rest of the team.
Yeah, and listen, I'm not saying no way at your analysis. It's all fine and dandy. I'm saying no way at this. It's a second timeout called for PRX. We're in round 6 of map 3. It's an elimination game. It's the final game of groups. Your final path to playoffs for the final event of the year. And this signifies to me just a complete collapse.
Yeah, it's brutal that Alex feels like not like this.
Yeah, swirling and circling around this team. Because it has to be pulled back here and now for PRX. There's no more time for the coaching staff. Alex to step back in.
This looks like a much more sensible defensive setup, though. I think Alex is already calling to spread out this stuff. Get the Cypher over C, get the op posted B.
What's going on here? Mindfreak, he's just opened up the door wide here. The sightline called. Holding over the shoulder with the operator through to Mountain is called for this pause. EDG making sure to let these PRX players simmer. Time has been bought, though. Following the sound cues, PRX are in position to potentially take this fight forwards with the Boombot. Tagging it up into the corner. They're going to be aware that there's a player holding onto the corner into this angle with the Seekers and another flash to play themselves in. This time, the gunplay, it does come up for the goods. And they are winning the day, paving the way to a successful round. But Kangkang's got something to say about it. Up and over the box, cannot stop Jing. Feeling empowered with the rest of his team behind him. They get that round on the board, eliminating the goose egg.
There's only 2 pieces of plant denial in PRX's comp. The nade and the showstopper when Jing has it online. So they've got to be more creative in ways of slowing EDG down. Instead of throwing utility to get ready to set up for a flood retake like that, they open the door, which slows EDG down and stops them from getting the plant until PRX are in position. Beautiful end.
I go.
There was still some anti-synergy even then, though, because they opened the door and popped the cage at the same time. So they cut off their own op sight line. Another rubble fight. You gotta be kidding me. EDG are gonna be loving this.
Yeah, mass pings all about here. Showstopper, no worries or concerns because of the Rolling Thunder still. Adjustment, Showstopper to kills, and the bullets at least lay claim to the life of Chi-Chu, and now the Rolling Thunder to get EDG back in there. A bullet to the back of the head of Divide, could not evacuate in time.
Something trying to get aggressive on the flank.
And he's going to be finding it, Smokey. Standing his ground. Looking to plug in the gaps potentially there, in case the flanks were online. Brought to that 3 versus 3. EDG now with that tempo increase. They want to speed this one up into the ace. Jing, there's no way you're taking this, man. You have no teammates to back you up. You want to take the fight straight up. You could have waited. Still, Forsaken has been played in and does get that trade in play. Anticipation is there, but a shoulder peeking out is all something needs to claim and collect the kill with the dash now active once more. Putting a squeeze down, nobody surviving for a rainy day, but a wrap around, up and away. Heaven player expected, missing the timing is Forsaken, who grasps it.
A close one to get PRX's second onto the board. Forsaken saves the operator, and that push out from something made all the difference. He had to get that timing and punish EDG for not running a Sentinel in their composition. Otherwise, they had so many options to maneuver around the map. He forced EDG to speed up as soon as Smoggy went down. And then, you're right, Jing, it looked a little adventurous the first time, but eventually got that synergy working with Forsaken. Can EDG still be playing aggressive whilst covering the flanks.
I don't quit.
I was critical the last time they stacked their operator on the same side of the Cypher, but this time, at least they have that trip B, and they've made the right read.
Yeah. Flash with Haunted over as well, so something can't take that early. Line of sight angle, but now does the dash. The Prowler spotted! His head just poking clean out. It's taken off of his shoulders. Kang straight up in there, Jing. Wants to try and even this one out with the bullets flying forwards again. He has not been cleaned up, but he's trying to play his team back in, and Forsaken, he's dropped as a result of it. It's crumbled again here for PRX. Just trying to play fast and loose into the site. Flood anchoring the defense. Broken and crumbled. Divide with a Trailblazer, spotting these players out with the paranoia. It's good to play themselves in, but Jing is caught, blinded up by it, and as the smokes fade away, there's no chance, no hope. It's Chicho with 3. Wraps up the round nice and pretty, and puts that 6-1 down on the board here for EDG.
Kang is not going to get caught by an op play like that. He read it so well, got aggressive into the site, making space for the rest of the team, and PRX just didn't have that setup they needed to go for the retake.
Nice!
I am loving the Haodong. Wow! We've heard it a couple times now, and it's getting better and better. PRX have 4 players over towards A. They want to control Rubble. They need that comfort that A is locked off. Their comp doesn't thrive with it though, and EDG have taken B instantly.
Full recognition of the gaps that the composition leaves open. A B plan, a slight tap from nobody, but now to commit. Oh, something! He's so ahead of his team, they just can't quite play off of this one. There's a flash into the faces again to push them back and away with the door open. Forsaken, not anticipating it. Fully blinded though, Divide, not willing to give up the sights, but smoked off, cut out of the picture. It's him against 3. No more money to buy for the next tier. A bitter pill to swallow, that you just have to save it away. Keep the rifle into the next, give up another round for EDG, because at this point, EDG, they are running away with it.
It might look like unorthodox compositions on both sides, but there could not be a bigger gap in terms of value from the picks at the moment. PRX's defense, honestly, it's not been their stronger side on Lotus historically, so maybe you could throw some cope out there and say, oh, well, you know, if they get up to 4 or something and grab the pistol. But the trade came through so late, like even the small details. I love the movement from something. It's fantastic. That next player needs to be through the door immediately. You can't be waiting for the paranoia to come through or sync it up at the same time. It feels rusty from PRX, like they've pulled an old comp out of the wardrobe and it's full of moth holes.
With those gaps as well. Holes, as you put it. It's EDG. Here, ready to try and capitalize. Simon, shredded with bullets. Calling for the reclear and backup.
There.
Kang spots one. Expecting some kind of bait and switch.
PRX going for the old tried and tested here, just trying to follow these sound cues. Chichu denied that chance of any sort of information, but Kang's going to be dropped here. The stun was good! And already racking up the kills. His team happy to play off the back of it. An open sight once more.
Where are you?
Rifle in the hands of Mind Freak. Forsaken is very much isolated though, in through the sight as well. Shoulder spotted, nobody gets that information. Calls for the rest of his team here. Weapons are going to be picked up, but again in inevitability, EDG. Fault line. Just roots Forsaken out of spot. There's no safety to be held at the back of that site there. 8-2 EDG.
And they can feel it. What a recovery. What a turnaround. Losing map 1 13-3, and then kind of pasting PRX on their own map pick, halting a 12-map win streak on Sunset, and now demolishing them on Lotus. The momentum could not be more one-sided. The scales have tipped thoroughly in EDG's favor. They go fake a rubble fight, hoping that they bait out a push over towards Mound. Jing doesn't bite. Not this time. Making the rotate himself over through Waterfall. leaving C weak, leaving B weak, going to reinforce a site that EDG have no interest in.
And they're stacking over towards A. I mean, PRX are doing this play when they already have a deep cam that's committed.
That's what I'm talking about. It's in no way refined, what we're watching from PRX's defense. I think they've pulled this comp out because they thought it would be a good counter to EDG, and they're just not practiced enough with it. Not anymore. Maybe tides will turn on the attack side. Something, possibly, could have made me believe with that peak.
Just daring him to fight. Follow up past it. The camera's finally broken. A dealt with Divide. That's a peek off of his own flash. And he's just never going to be favored there. Too many positions to play the ante from. EDG once more. Roll out the red carpet at this point. It's easy access to these sites, and the retakes just have not been there. But PRX will make a good go of things once more. This time out through the back. Satchel's in play. Attack from Simon. There's that uncertainty. Up and through. Not dead yet. Smoggy back into the fight and the fray, but the kills collected. Bodies toppled, falling. Smoggy needs to be given something here to play his teammate in, but nobody's now going to be that last one left. Into a 1v2 with 12 seconds. Whistled down to almost 0. And 2 bullets left in the chamber. There's no more options. Has to stick it for any chance, and Forsaken knows it. Wrapping around, a third on the board here for PRX. The question is it too little too late?
These pre-takes are the only things working for PRX. They had many players heaven as the plant was going down, finally got the read that they were on the right side, and hit it with huge amounts of aggression. EDG didn't have anybody that deep that could really stop them. But like I said, that's the only thing that's been working for them.
Careful.
Can they find another option to do that? Can they make the showstopper turn into a round victory? An 8-4 half with a pistol. Suddenly, there may be a glimmer, a flicker of hope.
Salvageable. Forsaken's just opened up the door wide.
His cam's got a little bit of info.
Yeah, spotted that out and not actually broken as well as a result.
I'm not sure how much he saw, though. He was barely on it for a second. He's just looking for question marks on the mini-round. Don't know whether he saw any.
Yeah. The round has been slowed down to a crawl, though.
But again, PRX have got their defensive players in the right site, unless this is a pivot.
Ball's broken. Fault line as well to try and play Kang into this spot with a trip broken down. Something might want to make a go of things here. To hear the ult popped off as well. Kang! That's a return of the fire. Something dropped. Now a B side could be that potential option, and a paranoia already wasted out. PRX no longer having that tool to play with. Smokes up in their face. Aftershock as well. Ryan Freak does peek up the flash and plays himself in, but EDG still holding strong. Not willing to be displaced from this position. PRX might have that surrounded, but again, they are fully aware. EDG knowing all the tricks at the sleeves of the PRX players. A seize of the connection, all the acknowledgement you need. An open sight for the taking on to C. And an impossible situation for Jing to play.
EDG baiting out so many of the tools that PRX wanted to play off. Absolutely broken something in that moment. He may never be the same player again after what Kang just did to him. But they baited out the showstopper. Jing found no value. Baited out all the flashes from Divide. Punish him with a shot to the head. 9-3. If there is a glimmer of hope, it is a dark, small light in a vast cavern. But one of these teams is so much closer to that map victory than the other. Double Sheriff in the hands of EDG. Smoggy's been lights out. Anytime he's played on Lotus, anytime he's playing Clove.
And this is a squeeze being applied, at least to feign like they could be trying to fight over towards Mound and from section of B from EDG. I think the goal of it potentially is to cause a pivot from PRX into the high-low setup that they've got going on. At least with the Sheriffs, it's a cool strategy that EDG have brought out into the pistol, but...
High lows.
Yeah.
All over the place, on C, on A.
And this could tear PRX apart already to peaks if they're not timed correctly, which they're not. EDG ready for it. Nobody's still alive towards the back of the site, and no anticipation that it could have peeked himself over it. 3 in a round, denied the 4, but Chichu is fully there, entirely for the cleanup.
Absolutely in control, EDG. if it went over towards A, high-low, set up towards stairs. Horn didn't get broken. Full information. Drop back into a high-low setup. And Simon and nobody. The IGL and the newcomer doing so much work.
One enemy remaining.
And that is elation because EDG can feel it. Primed and ready to pounce. That last spot of the playoffs. It's almost theirs for the taking. No force in sight from PRX. Not opting into this one. They need the guns, but it is just shambolic. Smoggy. Pure mechanics on display. And he will just rip them all away.
11-3. EDG with no concept of mercy. No thought in the back of their mind of taking their foot off the neck of PRX. Friends outside the server, bitter, bitter rivals inside.
One enemy remaining.
Smoggy is wiping them away.
And it is just pure elation, isn't it? A matchup that they've just failed in so many times against this team. For PRX, guns in their hands. Now is the time to make the most of it. That a bit over aggressive. EDG making the go of things here. They're still hard committing into the fight. They make the call as well to try and at least collect themselves together, but the weaponry not favored on these long sight lines at least. PRX essentially just swat away these EDG players.
This was a strat that Foot very much struggled with. They found the right reaction by pushing into C, but then couldn't play the post plants properly. This time, PRX hold on. And like you say, use that advantage of having the better long-range weaponry. EDG are not going to fight like that in every round, though. It's something they'll throw in occasionally, and maybe less so now that PRX have showcased they're willing to stand their ground and fight. Forsaken, it is good to see him popping heads. He was notably absent on Sunset. A bit more passive, a bit more supportive on the breach, and he couldn't find the rifling.
Round by round.
Dude, I mean, that is like water off a duck's back with the pressure for PRX. They are just having fun with it.
I mean, they've been in these positions before. They know the secret. It's just to have a short-term memory.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I mean, that's just so funny.
Devi is right on the money, though. It has to happen round by round, one at a time. Orbs farmed up. Mass migration, however, towards the A side here. Chichu is alone taking this angle, but there's less to really threaten him off this spot when there's no Viper in the play as well. He can just jiggle this one for a bit of util, and he's even got Simon to help him out. With the Trailblazer cleared its way through, I believe both rifles fired off something, but a dash to disengage and pull that one back and around. Forsaken. Cam up forwards. He spotted Kang, but doesn't want to try and take that fight towards it. Nobody with the door opened up wide will have to at least concede that space, give it up and hold the C's. Now into his hands, lets it loose. What a connection! Just absolutely running over these players. PRX steamrolled in the process. Jing, he'll have to do it all. But Aftershock in his back satchel away, and the aim reset just not there in time. EDG up to 12.
Match point.
Nobody's utility was phenomenal last time we got to watch them on Lotus. He had seizes all over the place, connecting, and he's doing it again. The seize is amazing, Smoggy's follow-up is great, and then he just jumps in knowing that the rest of his team's got his back. And I think a bit of that
This is it.
stoic nature
Listen.
needs to be given to Alex here.
And let's get back into the fight, because it could just be ending in a blink of an eye. The series, the tournament lifeline for PRX. Warded and postured. As I've said prior, they can't hold a candle to the amount of util that EDG can just pull out. So the A-Rubble control is theirs for now. One way's rejuvenated. PRX holding, biding their time, waiting to strike. The counter spam is there, updraft up and around as well. Swinging through, Paranoia is there, Showstopper needs that value. Jing, he's on a life that's unexpected. Up on the high ground, Chichu, he's trying to shut them down. Nobody's by his side, but the rifles, maybe. There's a lifeline. into the hands of PRX and still with a minute to play with.
Nobody's pushing out through B. Smoggy still with his ultimate. An eerie calm drops towards rubble. An area that's known so much bloodshed and almost all of it going into the way of EDG in this map. PRX have carved out a small opening. Do they think
30
of the
seconds
flank?
left.
The flank timing, nobody could shut this down, Devi! The awareness is there.
Surely too difficult of a situation for Smoggy, even with how well he's been playing.
There's no time.
There's 15 seconds.
This time pressure could just spell defeat. And for
10
Smoggy to be the
seconds
hero his team needs in this spot, Devi planting. Medal is used first, lowering them down! And spraying them down! Smoggy destroys the hopes and dreams of PRX. Knocks them out of groups. Revenge has been